All right, welcome everybody. We are live on this Monday night for the March Outturn preview tasting. Myself and Lynn.
Howdy-o.
All right, or I'm on the East Coast. You're on the West Coast. I'm in Tampa, so we've got a 3-hour time spread here. But we've got 6 whiskeys to get through tonight. These are all featured in the March in-person events as well, and some of those are happening tonight, probably right at this moment. So,
yes.
Let's see who's tuning in. I see A. Ash is here, Bruce Byram, JT, Warren Buff, Mamuka 1977, Christine Daisy, A.B. Scott, Chris Weiss Carver, Matt Welch, Ryan Shaw, The Curious George. Quite a few people tuning in already, getting ready for these fabulous 6 whiskeys that we're going to taste through.
Awesome.
Have you had a chance to get through them? Have you previewed them at all?
I have.
Good.
So
good.
I'm pumped. Yeah.
All right. Isaac Mittendorf tuning in. Andrew, Jason Jones, Ted Brooks, if I didn't say.
Hello. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just making small talk. I didn't pregame as hard, so hopefully I'll still be chatty.
Good. Something crossed my mind. Oh, a couple events coming up. Check the website for the Charlie McLean tastings that are coming up. There's a couple of those going on across the states. And then also today we sent out an email of our kind of not grand opening, but our opening ceremonies with Woodinville Distillery and our release that's coming up from there. And those tickets are available on the website as well. Chris Weiscarver is asking if you're feeling better. He must have talked to you on the phone.
Thank you. No, I'm worse. I have a headache and my eyeballs hurt. So we'll see how accurate my tasting is.
Well, whiskey will help with that.
Oh yeah. I just put on a bunch of war paint to hide all like the red blotches on my nose from I was blowing so hard all day. So it was
no.
Yeah, not fun. But I'm excited to see you guys.
I see Joe Combs is tuning in and Johnny Walker, Boo Ryan. All right. Oh, wait, I forgot my water. I'm going to need some water. Water dropper.
Okay. First off, who even puts water in their cash strength whiskey?
Everybody.
No. Do not let them fool you that you should put water in your whiskey.
Everybody puts water in their whiskey. You got to.
No.
Yes.
All right. Well, enjoy your water in your whiskey.
I will. Thank you.
That was awesome. That was so good.
All right. Everybody puts water in their whiskey. So let's get started with the first one. And I'll put the banner up here. I'll let you introduce it while I show the bottle and then the color.
Oh, okay. We are doing Springtime Extravaganza. All right. I was on the other one. Give me one moment. Hold on. Whoops. The notes here. Okay, so this is a 9-year distilled on September 2013. This is 57. Oh my God, guys. Amateur hour, sorry. 57.8% ABV, and this is aged in a first full hogshead. Here we go.
Really, color about what you'd expect on a 9-year. Actually, a little bit light. Almost looks like that's maybe like a refill or a second fill barrel, but it's a first fill bourbon hogshead. Well, the hogshead could be why color a little bit darker. Oh, and the nose is just citrusy and floral and malty, lemon zesty.
Yes. I get a little bit of like milk chocolate the first, and then afterwards I get more of a little bit of that lemon zest profile. And just a soft hint of like lemon cake. You know, the ones where there's a little bit of cream.
Yeah.
What is that called?
The
meringue pie? Lemon meringue pie?
Lemon meringue? Yeah. I like it. Even a little bit of lime, citrusy, lemon, lime, all of that. Vanilla wafer with a frosting on it.
Yes.
And Mamuka says 700 milliliters. I don't know why we're still putting out everything. I think we're pretty much done with the 750s. I don't, maybe occasionally a 750 is going to make an appearance. But for the most part, 99% of our bottles now are going to be 700 milliliters. Yeah, and Distillery 60, I pointed this out at our tasting here in Tampa yesterday. This is Distillery 60 and cask number 32. So only the 32nd cask that we got from Distillery 60. And Distillery 60's been around for a while. So that just shows you we don't release a lot of casks from 60. All right.
Okay.
Let's taste it. Let's get in on it.
All right. So this is interesting to me because I get these like top notes of cayenne pepper, but on the flavor, the main bulk, there's a little bit of apricot jam for me and a little bit of milk chocolate and chestnuts, and then some like cantaloupes.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it is slightly turning tropical. What was the first thing that you said?
Apricot jam.
Apricot jam. Yeah, I like that too. A little bit of a stoned fruit, or almost like a boiled, or like a peach or an apricot mash almost. Yeah, a peach cobbler, apricot spread, lemon wafers. Nice. Really a nice palate. 9-year-old, young and sprightly profile.
I would say this is more of like a medium level kind of sweetness, not like overtly sweet or like too dry. But I'm curious to hear your take on this.
Actually, this is a close one. This one could almost be sweet, fruity, mellow profile. Even though like you had cayenne spice, there is a little bit of spice on this neat. Might be the ABV kind of chipping in there a little bit on that. I'm gonna put a drop of water on it here, but I really like. I think this is borderline sweet, fruity, mellow. To me, I mean, this one's almost moving into there. Floral.
I think with water it gets a little bit drier, and the spice to me peaks up a little bit, especially on the finish, and there's like a little tingling sensation, almost like this zestiness to it that just really makes my mouth water.
I think water, the spiciness up front anyway, has toned down. I think even though the finish is still there, a little bit present, more of a, instead of cayenne pepper, a little bit more of a black pepper to me. I think the water kind of toned that. To me, it kind of toned it down a little bit. I like the melons in here though too still. Yeah, malty, very nice. And I'll put a second drop of water on there. Second round.
I think that the finish is quite complex with water. You get this kind of zestiness that just really, at least for me, makes my mouth really water and salivate. There's almost a hint of that lime, and then it transitions into that almond skin profile. So sometimes I think with like I know this is a first fill hogshead cask, but like some Oloroso sherry casks will bring a little bit of dryness. This particular expression will give that like nice oakiness to it. Like when you eat almonds and then you chew on the skins, it adds that layer of dryness and nuttiness that kind of, I think, rounds it out.
Yeah.
I
had something. I was breathing in, and a note crossed my mind, and then I lost it. Something a little bit different than what we've talked about, though. Now I can't remember. I'll have to try to get it again.
Okay.
There's a little bit of it's a tangy or a tart. Something. I can't place it.
Tart. I can see it let me see. It's like maybe unripe strawberries.
Yeah.
It's not fully sweet, so you get that little bit of.
I've been wanting to try. I see in the grocery stores white strawberries, and I've been wanting to get them and try them, but I haven't. Have you seen those white strawberries?
No, I have not.
Yeah, they look very interesting. What kind of note that would bring? Oh,
I've seen pink pineapples, but not. And then there's a little bit of like an herbaceous note to it, like it's not aggressive or anything. It's more like a herb liqueur for me, like some kind of dry vermouth essence to it.
I figured out what my note is, and it's like the rind on a cantaloupe or a honeydew. Even if you've got a cantaloupe that's not quite ripe and it's really hard and it's really crisp, and you get, when you're slicing it, the skin off of it, and you get a little bit of that green rind in there with it a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
That kind of tart, a little bit of a bite of a unripe melon.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. And just like a little aftertaste of honey kind of balance out that unripe strawberry to me.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree with you that cantaloupe is pretty present.
All right. Are you ready for tasting notes from the bottle?
Yes.
This one's kind of short and sweet, actually. A combination of roasted strawberries with brown sugar and coriander. So we got the roast. We called roasted apricot, or kind of stewed apricots, but roasted strawberries, brown sugars, and coriander. You were getting like a herbal essence there to it. Herbal essence.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe Combs points out that 700 milliliter is starting to show up in U.S. distilleries also. Yep, we're starting to see that. I've seen that with a few as well. It's gonna. I mean, I believe it's going to be universal. I think everybody's going to switch to it, and it's going to make things easier for all the distilleries out there. One bottle, one label. So we'll see. Time will tell. All right, cask number 2. Say hello to number 2.
All right. Are we doing Hot House Reverberation?
Yep, 113.71. This was I'm going to do these the same order we did in the tasting, in the in-person events. I mean, it can go. This is good. Yeah. But anyway, 113.71 Hot House Reverberation, spicy and dry profile, really underrated. Really get some great whiskeys in here. 11 years old, a second fill barrel.
Do you want me to read the specs on this?
Just the ABV was left. I think I got everything else.
Okay, cool. This is 62.1% ABV. And second fill cask. Yeah.
And really color real similar to the first one with this one. We're looking at that. It's 2 years older, but a second fill barrel. So not near the cask influence on this one. Or is there? Because it ends up in the spicy and dry. And it is spicy. And this is a good example of our spicy and dry profile. Although I do think there are some that have been a little bit drier. But even yesterday, it was funny at the in-person events yesterday, one of the participants, he pointed out, he was like, man, it's really chalky. And I was like, well, that's a good, I go, what would chalk do? We were talking about what flavor profile it was in. I go, what would chalk do to your mouth? He's like, it'd dry it out. And I'm like, so spicy and dry?
Okay. So what aromas are you getting on this?
There's like a toasted caramel and a burnt honey, a honey lemon drop.
I have to say that when I first cracked this one open, it had like an, I don't know how to say this, but I'm just gonna lay it out there. It had the aroma of a Vietnamese nail salon. Not that I go there often, but then after opening this and then letting it breathe, it has changed quite a bit. And I'm getting more of that profile you're talking about, like that nuttiness that's coming through. That's quite lovely. So I think it's gonna be wild at first when you crack it open, but then after it tempers, it starts to settle in and it mellows out just a bit.
I don't really get spicy on the nose though. I don't think I could nose this and say, oh, that's going to be like spicy and dry. I don't even think like now some of the pepper does come out on the palate, but I don't necessarily get it on the nose.
Yeah.
You get, I mean, maybe there's some hints, a little bit of it, but it's definitely going to be there on the palate. I can guarantee you that. So, all right.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow. The palate on this is phenomenal. Mouthfeel right up front. And there's the spice, fresh cracked black peppers.
This one's super awesome. Yeah. It can taste like a second fill cask. And I know you're like a big movie person, so hopefully I will make an analogy that makes sense. But I was reminded of Fight Club, where it kind of tinkers with like prolipses and ellipses. They kind of shift all over the place, and you're like, is this real or is not real? And what I mean by that is, like, for me, the aroma was a little bit aggressive, but on the flavor, it was like creamy. There was like this butterscotch essence to it. And then you get a little bit of serrano chilies on the top note. So it creates a very complex sensation on the sipping experience. And I think it makes it really fun. And it's very complex in that regard.
I don't know, almost goes like serrano peppers on the caramel flan.
Oh, I have not had that.
I haven't either. But I mean, there's like some toasted caramel on here, and the caramel flan, but then with that spiciness of the serrano pepper. I like your serrano pepper on there.
Yeah, I have come across like some jams where they have a little bit of chili, so you get that sweetness and that spiciness that comes into play. So I'm really pumped about this one. Again, this tastes like a first fill, and it's creamy to me, and it just shows you what independent bottlings can do, for sure. Because for me, I think reading the description, I would probably bypass it because it's a second fill cask. But sipping this, I think this is really awesome. So
I like second fill cask because they can be very unique. The cask influence is kind of toned down, and you're getting a little bit better look at the distillate. This one though is really, there's a lot of influence. And just real quick about Mamuka's question here, he says second fill, what barrel? If you see first fill barrel or second fill barrel, it means ex-bourbon. That's kind of universal. It's across the board. First refill barrel. If it's just barrel, it's going to be an ex-bourbon barrel. And that's, I mean, that's all neat. And even though this one's 50, or no, this one's a little bit higher. This one's 61, isn't it? What is that?
62.1?
62.1.
Yes. Oh, yeah, 62%. I like the finish on this too. It tasted like salted roasted peanuts for me. So
I would go with just salted,
this bottle.
like saltine crackers because it's salty, but then it's also drying. So I guess that saltiness is drying your mouth out a little bit.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta pour more. All right.
Oh yeah, water. A little bit sweeter. I think it toned down the spice a little bit. Still a lot of cracked black peppers. I still like the caramel flan on that with the serrano peppers, the spiciness.
I think, yeah, for me, it switched over from serrano chilies to something like more of like a drier kind of chili with hints of what's a drier chili? You like? Golly, not jalapenos.
No,
It's not like it kind of has an essence of bitter melon, but not really, really bitter. But there's essence of that.
I can see that. Yeah. Really a lot going on this one. And, for an 11-year-old, that spicy and dry profile is perfect for this one. Second fill bourbon barrel shows through on the color because the color really isn't that dark, that rich, but the flavors, the palate on this one is so surprising.
Yeah.
I think when you look at that 11-year-old second fill barrel and you're kind of thinking everything's going to be kind of toned down a little bit with this one, and it's not at all.
Yeah, it gets to me a little bit drier in the beginning, and then it switches over to golden raisins. But the saltiness is there on the finish, though, which I think is fun.
Yeah. I'll try it with it. I got 2 rounds of water on here now.
Okay. This is personally fun for me because I haven't come across from like Distillery 113 often. So having a chance to try and see it in its pure form is really exciting.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those that is normally you only find it's only used in blends. I mean, they don't have any official bottlings out there. It's not like you can go into a store and ask for, some from a whiskey from this distillery. The only time you're gonna find it is independent bottlers or used in blends. But yeah, this is a great whiskey with water. I think second round of water, it's toning the spice down a little bit. It's still there. It's still astringent. A little bit more of that kind of honeyed lemon drop, almost like if you've got a cough or a cold, hot toddy. Yeah, kind of that honey and whiskey and lemon. Yeah, that's almost a spicy hot toddy.
Yes, I love this one. And my voice is back, but I'm still sick. Of course. Joe.
You want to read the tasting notes on this one?
Okay. Bittersweet waves of tart pecan, apricot Danish, tropical fruit skins, lemons in a wooden bowl, popping candy, and hothouse orchards.
A little bit more than the first one there. Yeah. Tropical fruit skin. Yeah. Lemons, wood, floral.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like it. This is special. Yum, yum, yum. I'm going to finish this. So I made the same sound I talked to my feral cats. Okay. We are doing 68.85. Is that the next one?
85. 85.79.
Oh, okay. 85.79. All right. Okay. 85.79. This is called Balanced and Textured, and this is a 14-year in an ex-bourbon cask. Second fill. So there you have it. So, and it's finished in, I'm sorry, it's in for 12 years in a first fill ex-bourbon cask, and then it's transferred to a second fill Outturn cask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Second fill Outturn, so don't expect, a first fill Outturn. I think there's going to be a lot more influence. This is the second time whiskey's been in that Outturn cask. We're going to see some slight influences here, or should, but let's find out.
Mm-hmm. This is 57.7% ABV.
Definitely a little darker on the nose. I almost get a drying sense off of the nose on this one.
Wow. I don't know if it's because I'm sick, but I get a little bit of prosciutto on the nose, which is very odd.
Okay.
I mean, I love that scent.
Yeah.
What do you get?
There's some berries. I just got some berries. Oaky, drying, almost like I can smell the dryness of it. A little nutty. A little bit darker nut though, almost more like walnut or pecan, cinnamon toasted pecans, walnuts.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no, what do they call it? The like trail mix, where there's pretzels and those dark wafers.
Yeah.
Or not trail. It's not trail mix because that's got M&Ms and stuff. Or is it trail? There's like the Chex mix type stuff with those got those dark whole wheat wafers in it and pretzels.
I can totally see that. Yeah. Get a lot of that bread for sure.
Yeah. A little bit of Worcestershire. Worcestershire.
Oh, I can't say that. Aside from Star Wars, I can't say Worcestershire.
Just say Worcestershire. Worcestershire.
But you know what? I can see a little bit of that. For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That Worcestershire sauce.
I just got that. I know I didn't get that yesterday at the tasting.
Oh.
But I think I was thinking about like those pretzels and that dark wafer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew says Gardettos. Yeah, they make the sacks of it. Andrew says to say, wash your sister sauce. Wash your sister sauce. Say it real quick. Sounds just like it. Worcestershire. Rye chips. Yeah, that's what they are.
Oh, there we go.
All right. On the palette on this one. What are we looking at here? This one's a little bit lower. This one came back down to 57.
Yeah, 57.7. Yep.
All right.
So, pardon me, gotta blow my nose. I get
I was gonna let you blow your nose there. So we've had a couple of first fill Sauternes lately. Delicious whiskeys, a lot of influence. The second fill on this one, it's toned down. It's still there, but it's not like that first fill presence. I think spicy and sweet is a good flavor profile for this one. But I mean, there's a nutty chocolatey-ness to this, kind of like a chocolate brownie with nuts in it.
Yeah, totally. And I think what's interesting to see the contrast is your favorite Forget Me Not, which was in that Sauternes. This one is quiet. It doesn't have, sometimes Sauternes casks can offer a little bit of that funk, and I mean that in a good way, almost like a blue cheese and then honey, or like with honey. This one is quite toned down, And so you get that milk chocolate essence coming here. And
I'll take it I'll tone it down though from a blue cheese to more like a truffle, like a black truffle, almost in between. Yeah. Well, I just had some black truffle Gouda. That's really
that's fancy.
Yeah.
Black truffle Gouda.
Fancy. Bougie.
Very bougie. I don't think I've had truffle Gouda before.
Oh, really? Ooh, yeah, you gotta look for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So all I can say is milk chocolate with essences of almonds, which isn't as fancy as your description.
Jen is probably eating the rest of it right now. Black truffle Gouda.
That's so awesome. She's so cool. She's so nice.
One more sip, neat.
Okay. This, I think, and I mean this in a good way, this is more of like your straightforward whiskey. Like the one we had where it was just the flavors just all over the place. This one, it's not as not as complex, but I appreciate and I like that milk chocolate profile because that's what I kind of lean towards anyways. So
yeah, I think that first fill Sauternes would definitely would bring more of like that earthy, funky. There's some hints of it in here, but from this second fill, but it's really, I mean, the spicy and sweet, again, a good flavor profile for this one. There's some berries. There's a little bit of spice, some cinnamon, some cardamom, a little bit of a black pepper. But then chocolatey, nutty.
It's quite interesting with water. It gets complex to me. So now we, instead of milk chocolate, I get dark chocolate. And then now I'm getting like jams, and then I get a little bit of like orange blossom, and then there's almost like this Earl Grey black tea happening too.
Jen says it's delicious. She's talking about the black truffle Gouda.
Oh, I like that you can read her mind. That's awesome.
Yeah, water. Yeah, smoother. See, you went from milk to dark.
For me, yeah.
Chocolates. I don't know if I'm getting that necessarily. It definitely became creamier, the chocolatey-ness of it. We went from like a nutty chocolate brownie to like fudge, like a milk chocolate fudge. It's not so much cakey. It's just creamier, smoother. Let me put a second.
Do you prefer this neat or with water?
This one was very good neat. I think maybe water is toning down some of the Sauternes influence here. Let me try it with 2 rounds of water to see, but I think I might have preferred this one neat, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, it's good. It's good with water. It was good neat. Which one do I prefer? That's hard to tell. And I've got 2 rounds of water on here. It definitely, like I said, just made it creamier. I thought little sweeter, and I think water is kind of toning down some of the Sauterne influence. I think I like this one better neat, where I was getting a little bit more of that Sauterne character. All right. Any more notes?
Cool. It sounds unclassy, but I burp and I got a little bit of bubble gum on that.
It's what everybody else will be trying to burp now. They'll be like, I got to burp. Got to get the bubble gum.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at tasting notes on the bottle on that one.
Okay.
85.
Oh.
No, go ahead. Yep.
A gorgeous example of how well this cask can work with whiskey. Richly sweet and fruity, but balanced, complex, and full of texture and spice.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. All right. A little water on the palate.
All right. Okay. Where are we next, boss? Boop, boop, boop.
I didn't get the pop cork. We're going to the juicy oak and vanilla.
Okay. That's the
68.85.
Okay. We got a 14-year Howling Delight at 57.7% ABV.
Yeah, this one really similar to the first two that we did. Lighter color here. The refill reach hard hogshead though should be imparting some good cask influence here. Maybe it's not coming through in the color, but we'll see if it comes through on the palate. I bet it's gonna.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of vanilla. Yesterday at the tasting, I was like, to me, this one could be juicy oak and vanilla. It could be spicy and sweet. It could be spicy and dry. But on the nose right now, there's a lot of vanilla jumping out of the glass at me.
I need a new glass. All I smell is like a little touch of smoke and ham.
Oh.
Which probably doesn't make sense. Hold on. New glass. Okay, let's try it.
A tart citrus, vanilla, slight oak.
Oh, okay.
Honeycomb.
Yes, honeycomb for sure. That honeycomb cereal.
Uh-huh.
It has a touch of a floral note to it, but it's very soothing on the nose. Gosh, I wish I would bottle this up in a perfume. Wow.
Yeah, very aromatic, very perfume.
Yeah, it's
Look.
Almost like a touch of jasmine tea on the nose.
Tea, black tea, jasmine tea.
Oh.
Maybe a little bit of tobacco on the nose.
Okay, so this glass, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, this glass, when I poured it, I definitely picked up Tabasco, but it's a totally clean glass. It has a backdrop. Okay. So this one is 11 years in an ex-bourbon hogshead, and then it was transferred to a second fill heavy charred hogshead.
This one, palate full right up front. Bourbon lovers, I think bourbon drinkers would love this one. That heavy char barrel really imparting a lot. We're getting into vanillas, caramels, cinnamons, slight brown sugars. It's more vanilla sweet. I think it is more than like a brown sugar.
Mm-hmm.
But oak, a lot of bourbon-esque type notes in this one, probably from that heavy char hogshead.
Yeah, you can, like, for me, when I come across something that's heavy char, it reminds me of eating almost like a brioche bread, but it's been toasted. I get that burnt side of the bread and balanced by the sweetness of the brioche bread.
Yeah.
So can definitely see that cinnamon coming through for sure.
It's kind of like a creamy liquid cinnamon. It's a cinnamon roll with it's a hot cinnamon roll with the frosting melting.
Yes. Do you ever do a Kentucky chew with your scotch?
No.
A
What is that?
Kentucky Chew?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like supposedly when you sip it and you make this with your face, that's called a Kentucky Chew.
Well,
It's interesting. There's like it goes from that like amazing cinnamon, raisin, that melted gooiness that you find, and then the finish it has a little bit of like a savory note to it.
yeah.
For me, um,
Back down about, I think we were 57, 57.7% ABV.
yes,
A little bit, I'll still stick with a little bit of a wet tobacco now. On the nose, it was like a dry tobacco, but a little bit of a wet tobacco now. I just added a drop of water. That was before I added my drop of water. But
okay, I'm gonna add drop water.
Yeah, AB Scott pointing out, I'm so used to seeing 68s in sherry casks. This one is interesting. Yeah. So yeah, 68 that's not sherry cask. But yeah, it's really a palate full. Very nice. Yesterday, I did think this might bounce between some flavor profiles, but I'm thinking juicy oak and vanilla is probably a really good one for this one. Yeah.
It's weird. The first time when I had it with water, it tastes drier. This time around, it's the reverse. So it tastes a little bit sweeter for me with water.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because it's oxidized and then settled through. But what was your experience?
I like it better with water. I can tell you that. It seems like it's expanding. It's definitely the finish is hanging around longer. It was good, neat.
I think
what did the water? I don't know if the water, to me, if it changed too much. I think it really just kind of opened it up, let the whiskey spread its wings. I think the finish got a little bit better. It might be a little bit drier, maybe. I think with water to me. Yeah.
The finish is quite long too, but definitely on that dry profile, like minty dry.
Let's try to put a little bit more water on it.
Okay.
Great, neat, great with 1 round of water. 2 rounds of water, still good, but it's definitely brought it down almost too far, I think.
Yeah.
Everything's almost
muted a little bit.
Yeah. Neat or 1 round of water on this one. It's still good. It's just not, it's lacking the punch now. It's lacking the wow.
Yeah. Like who does not want to taste cinnamon raisin rolls, you know? So.
Right.
Man.
All right. I'll hit the tasting. Let me do the tasting notes on this one. Well, 68.85, howling with delight. Fresh tropical fruits were followed by banana pancakes. Dilution added fluffy raisin scones served with a rose hip, nettle, and mint tea. Indeed.
Right. Okay.
Oh, here comes. Ooh.
Addertive? Is that what we're doing?
That's right.
Okay. Ooh. So is it the dirt of the 44?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me rinse my glass here.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm feeling it, everybody. Feeling it. Honestly, I should have had whiskey right when I started this morning. I felt awful.
I'm trying to keep it moving here since we're doing 6, and I know they're gonna start kicking in here. I'm like, we got to keep this moving
Oh, crap.
before Lynn gets.
Before I get off the rails, I'm gonna. Okay, so we've got Pilgrimage to El Rosco, 13-year. This is 59% ABV. Aged for 11 years in an ex-bourbon cask and transferred to a 2 years in American Oak PX Hogshead.
Look at that color. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh,
Look at that
sexy. Woo! If I had a dating app, this is who I would DM, Scott. Juicy and delicious. Woo! Oh
Yeah,
my God. You know the alcohol is kicking in when I become ridiculous. This is bad.
But then the dating app would show that color, but then when you met him, it would be, like a refill barrel type color, right? It would.
We'll see. Maybe he promised everything I want in life, like a 401k. And okay.
All right. Yep. No, Distillery 44. So yesterday I pointed out, we get a lot of sherry casks from 44. I love them. We've had some excellent, great ones. Distillery 44, known for using worm tubs in its distillation process, can impart, sometimes a little bit of a sulfury, meaty, savory character.
Mm-hmm.
I briefed everybody at the tasting on that, but then so the Pedro Jimenez influence on this one, though, I think has toned some of that down. I don't think it's quite as present with this one. Mm-hmm. That kind of meaty, savory, sulfuriness that we get sometimes with 44. I think the Pedro Jimenez has kind of toned that down a little bit with this one. Well, let's see. Let's see what you think.
I love the aroma on this.
Yeah.
I feel like when I smell this, it's like I walked in a place where like somebody has their, pardon my French, shit together. Like they're not an artist working from paycheck to paycheck. They're not like me. Like this is like that leather shoe varnish, and it's like I think of dark wood, and somebody owns a whiskey room, dark wood panels, leather seats. It's opulence on the aroma for sure.
Toffee.
Yeah.
Toasted, burnt toffee, darker leather. I like the leather. Nutty.
I just imagine that if Daniel Craig, when he's like about to kick some ass, and James, when he's being James Bond, like this is what he'd drink. It's like, yeah, this is what should have been in Skyfall.
There was which one was it? A couple movies ago, he drank a 50-year-old Macallan.
Yeah.
Like everybody just walks around drinking 50-year Macallan.
All right, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah. Go ahead, get in there. This is really, I think, what you expect on the nose, and I'm kind of surprised. This on the nose, it feels like the PX influence is a lot heavier than just the 2 or 3 years that it is. Because this one 11 and 2 or 10 and 3.
11 and 2.
Yeah, 11 for 2 years. Ex Pedro Jimenez. There's a lot of influence going on, and you can see it in that color. But let me taste it.
Yeah. I think we had one. It was in November. It was like hints of Matchbox, where it was like Expert 2 sherry, and it tasted a lot of sherry.
Oh yeah, but real quick, Mamuka was asking if there's a lot of sulfur. No sulfur on the nose on this one.
No.
I haven't even gotten any on the palate on this one, and that's why I was saying I think the Pedro Jimenez influence on this one has toned down a lot of that Distillery 44 character. I'm getting a little bit of a savoriness, a little bit of a saltiness, a little bit of some meat.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of toned down for Distillery 44. A lot of times 44s are a lot more in your face. That Pedro Jimenez is really up front with this one. That syrupy brown sugar, molasses. berries. I mean, I'm still getting. I sipped it. I tasted the finish on this one is excellent, long lasting. Wow.
This has like that. When you mentioned meatiness, I was reminded of Iberico ham. So just that buttery creaminess and a hint of saltiness before I was able to still eat ham. But
Chris Weiscarver is celebrating his 50th birthday tonight with us. Happy birthday,
oh,
Chris.
happy birthday!
Yep, absolutely. 3-4 is 74. And JT, Justin Taves, pointing out that was in Skyfall, the Bond movie where he drank the 50-year-old Macallan.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was a great movie.
Lucas saying happy birthday. Jim Current saying happy birthday.
That's awesome.
Joe Combs, happy birthday, Chris. Yeah, this one, this one does not feel. This was a very active Pedro Jimenez cask. It doesn't feel like this was just a 2-year maturation, and I don't think the color. I mean, doesn't show that the color on this one is amazing.
Yeah.
And a first fill. I was thinking second fill, but no, it's a first fill Pedro Jimenez. So yeah, great influence here. That was a very active cask.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely feels a lot more than that 2-year maturation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that saltiness of the Iberico ham definitely comes through for me. And it's not so like syrupy because I think like the ex-bourbon cask pulls it away and keeps it from being overly sweet, and you just get a nice balance of that, the vanilla custard and a little bit those red fruits that you might find like a dark cherry syrup feel to it.
Matt Welch says that our youngest is celebrating a birthday today as well. He's only 1, so no whiskey for him.
What?
20 more years. That can be whiskey for Dad.
That's right, Matt. You should be drinking.
Drop of water here. Let me see. A little bit of a cherry syrupy sweetness, almost Luxardo cherry type sweetness. Cinnamon, brown sugars, caramels, toffees.
I got a little bit of like burnt caramel that you'd find on a custard, like a flan when they toast the dark parts a little bit.
Yep.
That part. I got a little bit of Entre Reyes chilies. So with water, a little bit of cold brew black coffee. Yeah, definitely Entre Reyes chilies on the finish for sure. I make birria burritos quite a bit, so I use that.
Maybe a little bit of the mole.
Chocolate. Oh, very nice.
Let you say that, yeah. I'll see your Ancho Reyes chilies with my mole. I'll raise you a mole.
I love it, Scott. I can't emphasize how much like every time I talk to you, I feel like such a creeper because I keep on praising you, but I'm just like I'm such a huge fan of you. And the more I drink, I sound like a stage 4 clinger, which is terrible. Like I'm always so excited to talk to you. You are just so special. And
thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Woo!
2 rounds of water.
Oh crap. Okay. Let me do this. I don't think I can stand after this, to be honest. I'm already like
no, you keep popping and pouring more. Actually, water really isn't hurting this one. 2 rounds of water now, and I mean it's really as good as it was. But the problem, I don't know if it's not necessarily changing too much now or showing too much more. It's still just really maybe some more of that mole or the chocolate is showing more that spicy type chocolate. You took your ancho reyes and some mole, poured some coffee on there and let it kind of reduce. Wow, that's a good.
I feel like the PX cask kind of comes out even more with water.
Yeah, probably so. And I think it's even suppressing that distillery 44 character more with water, and it's just more that PX showing. You know, where distillery 44 should be meaty, it should be savory, it should be sulfury, you know, and those things. This PX influence on this one, though, really tampering all of those notes down. And I think water even is helping to tamp those notes down. And blind, I don't know if you'd ever say this is, you know, distillery 44 because of that, because those notes are really toned down. No, you know, and distillery 44 is known for a little bit of a sulfur as well. I don't get any sulfur on this. I think that's being masked. I mean, there's a little bit of the prosciutto, the salami, the salted meats. Not very much, though. It's really the Pedro Jimenez cask up front.
Yeah. And even like letting the aftertaste linger, it switches to salted toasted pistachios, which I love. So
the sea salt and vinegar pistachios.
I have not had that.
Oh, you need to try sea salt and vinegar pistachios. Do you like sea salt and vinegar potato chips?
Yeah.
There's
okay.
There's sea salt vinegar pistachios out there.
What? Okay. I have to Google this. Okay.
Ted Brooks is asking, have you guys ever thought about sending out tasting kits ahead of the outturn so we can sip along? I think it's been looked at, but the logistics of that are off the charts, trying to get that done. Yeah. I mean, just getting the bottles, you know, to the States. These bottles come out 2 to 3 months ahead of time. Most of the time in the UK, they're shipped, you know, across the ocean. Tariffs are paid. They're brought into the warehouse, and then trying to get, I think, sample bottles of those and into a tasting kit and out before the bottles, you know, at the same time the bottles are available. I think there's a lot of logistics there that I don't think that are not conducive, let's say.
Yeah.
Matt Welch, I have a bag of sea salt and vinegar pistachios on my desk right now. Yeah, those are good ones. All right. Pilgrimage to El Rocio, 44.145. A dusty pilgrimage in Spain. Candied orange peel, vanilla custard flan, jamon, and barbecue ribs.
Jamon.
What is it?
Jamon.
Which
means ham in Spanish, I think.
Jamon. And barbecue ribs, leather, oak, and
padron peppers.
Padron peppers.
I'm just imagining Selma Hayek reading me the tasting notes. Really.
Oh, Selma Hayek. Why would you go there?
She seems like a really fun gal.
She'd be in my top 3.
Oh yeah, she's hilarious. I've seen her interviews and she's absolutely charming.
Yeah.
Definitely gorgeous and hilarious. That's a winning combination.
All right. And the final whiskey of the night. And how do these go? We always end up with a peated. Well, not always. I think 99% of the time we probably end up with a peated. We always have, maybe sometimes we have 2 peateds.
Okay. We got a 53.458 called Truly a Gem. This is a 9-year at 56.8% ABV. And this is aged in a first fill American oak and then finish in an Oloroso. So for 7 years, then an ex-bourbon cask, and then transfer to a first fill American oak Oloroso hogshead.
Little bit lighter color here. Probably just due to the age, but 9 years. I think this one was 7 and 2. 7 years ex-bourbon, 2 years American oak Oloroso.
Yes, sir.
So last month we had Particle Accelerator, kind of a sister cask to this one, although it was 11 years old. So 2 years older, but also that one may have been Pedro Jimenez.
I can grab it. Let me see. Let me look.
Oh no, it was first fill Oloroso.
Yes, Oloroso.
Yep. So, oops, I clicked off my. There we go. Ooh.
Okay, so the aroma on this reminds me of. I hate that we can't say the distillery, but it rhymes with Jakushu 18 year.
Well, that's not this. As long as you don't mention this distillery.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, Hakushu 18 year, similar.
Really?
In terms of, like the flavor for me. It's got that bonito flakes. So.
Yeah, and just so we were talking, we had distillery 60 earlier. Distillery 60.32 earlier, the 60th distillery we ever purchased from, and the 32nd cask. This is the 458th cask from distillery 53. So just phenomenal. Our 53s are I mean, world records. We really get some great casks from distillery 53. These at single cask strength, ex-bourbon casks or hogshead or Oloroso or Pedro Jimenez, they're all just fabulous, outstanding casks.
Yeah. I'm always impressed by this distillery, considering how much they mass produce, like capable of producing 6.5 million liters a year. And they can produce something that's like incredibly smoky or unsmoky, and it tastes great. So I don't know too many distilleries that can do that, So it's just impressive, because typically most times when when you mass produce, you cut corners and you just produce good stuff, okay stuff. But I like this distillery, and I remember.
Well, the off the shelf bottlings are good from distillery 53.
Mm-hmm.
But single cask strength ones are just another realm. I mean, they're just completely different. Even though the off the shelf distillery 53 12-year-old, great whiskey. But if you had one of our 12-year-old single casks next to it, the off the shelf offering would pale in comparison. So this one peated, and even in the tasting yesterday, everybody knows you get that. And I've pointed out a lot of times with peated whiskeys and sherried, I can't necessarily say, there's peat and there's dates and there's plums and there's raisins. A lot of times I can, but if it's not sherried, you'll get a peated citrusy vanilla. If it's just ex-bourbon cask, you're going to get peat. You're going to get like a lemon, a citrus, slight oaks, sweetness, like maybe a powdered sugar or something like that. When it's sherried, though, I get this dark. There's peat, there's smoke, but then there's this earthy, dark. I really don't know how to describe it. I can't break it down and say, oh, there's plums and there's raisins, those things you would expect from Oloroso.
Mm-hmm. I think like the meatiness, like with that, going back to bonito flakes, but the PX, I'm sorry, not PX, but this particular one, it has a beautiful marriage of like that sherry sweetness where it goes from applewood smoke to an
Ooh.
ashy kind of smoke. And so I like that it transitions and shows you the different styles of smoke that it offers. Because for me, like smoky whiskeys is very misunderstood. People are either love it or they hate it. And the ones who hate it just think it's like burnt tires. But there's so many different dimensions to smoke. Apple wood or like mesquite wood, and then the firecracker kind of smoke. So and then obviously different levels. And I think what's beautiful about this one, it gives you a little bit of that applewood sweetness, and then it transitions to a dry one that kind of reminds me of like a Lafroig Carches 2013 edition that was finished in a portwood cask. So you see a little bit of the dryness influence. But yeah.
That's really specific. I mean, you reached up there. You said Lafroig Carches, and I'm not only stopping there. I'm going 2013 edition, and it's the port at that. I mean, I would have been like, okay, Lafroig Carches. There was this port one. It was a while back, a few years ago. It might have been 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know, but this was, and you're like 2013 though. Boom, nailed it.
Well, I mean, obviously with my demeanor, I look like I eat, cakes and drink tea. So I have to study hard. Gotta bring some street cred to this industry, But I like this one. I think what you were mentioning, referring to the 11-year that was last month, obviously they kind of have that similar profile, but last month's edition, I think, still had that peppercorn spice to it, but it had that unripe strawberries. This one gives a little bit of a meatier texture. In case if somebody was wondering, well, do I really want to buy this? Is it similar, or if I missed something? I mean, they still have that saltiness kind of smoke to it, but it's slightly different, I think.
I get more like a beefy, like a smoked brisket with this one. Not, I mean, sometimes it might be like a smoked salmon or a smoked fish. Sometimes it's smoked pork ribs. This one's more like brisket. It's more hearty. It's more beefy, smothered in a barbecue sauce that's more kind of molasses based. Smoked in applewood, like Lynn mentioned. Great, and I like the applewood here, because it's kind of a little bit sweeter type smoke. Probably a combination with the Oloroso, but yeah, it's very, very nice, just gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try it with water.
Yep, I'm gonna get a drop on mine. Around, I like to say around on mine. And some people, I mean, we get asked that a lot, and you hear the term "a drop of water." I say I say a round of water, because it depends on how much whiskey is in my glass and what the ABV is. So I honestly, I just added probably 5 or 6 drops of water, almost a dropper full of water to this, because I've got quite a bit, and it's a higher ABV, whiskey. So to me, a drop of water is variable. How much did you? So you said you were going to add a drop of water. What did you add?
I didn't count. I definitely added anywhere from 3 to 5, to be honest. Yeah.
But like I say, it depends on how much whiskey is in your glass. What's the ABV of that whiskey?
Mm-hmm.
But we use the term "a drop of water," or people ask you about a drop of water. To me, it's kind of variable, and there's different things to take into account there. It's not just, if you're drinking a 40% whiskey, maybe it's a drop of water or 2 drops of water, not as much. But yeah, anytime I'm drinking, especially one of our single cast drinks, I refer to it as a round of water, because it's 5 or 6 drops of water probably per time.
For sure. Yeah. I think with water, this tastes a little bit drier. You get a little bit of that olive oil and kind of like paprika.
Smoked Spanish paprika. Yeah. Spicy, drier with water.
Definitely.
Mm.
Yeah, it's ashy. It transitions from this applewood kind of smoke to like an ashy, like that burnt paper. Yes, I burn paper in my spare time occasionally. Not just kidding. To hide documents from the IRS. No, I'm just kidding. See, this is bad when I drink too much. I'm just
What income? What are you talking about? Yeah. I mean, this is a great whiskey again here, and blind. No way would I think 9 years old. Definitely feels older. Probably the Oloroso maturation on this one. Oh, that's what I was going to bring up earlier. I forgot. I thought about that. So technically, we use the term maturation kind of across the board. We like the term maturation. Technically, up to like say if you had a 13-year-old whiskey and it was 11 years ex-bourbon and 2 years Oloroso, generally that's referred to as a finish with the 2 years and shorter time frame. And then anything over 2 years is referred to as a maturation. We kind of use maturation across the board. But I've noticed a lot of ours lately, we've gone to like a 3 minimum really has been 3 to 5 year maturations. And almost I'd seen that we were getting away from a lot of just 2 year, of that maturation in Oloroso or Pedro Jimenez. But a couple of this release were both just like a 2 year, finish or maturation in those sherry casks. Love it. Great whiskey. Great. Another great cask from Distillery 53. So, you want to do the tasting notes on the bottle on that one?
Yes.
Wrap it up.
Grilled sardines, Spanish braised octopus, and miso soup with crispy smoked tofu are all enjoyed around a beach bonfire on a sunny evening.
Now, see, they had this more of the smoked seafood type notes there, the octopus and whatnot. But to me, it's almost a little bit more beefier, a little bit, but to each his own.
Yeah.
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 I get delicious. I'm still tasting. I mean, it's a great finish on this one, and yeah,
I'm curious to hear your opinion comparing this expression to last month's expression. If you had to choose, would you choose the particle accelerator or this guy?
I'd have to go side by side with them to see it. And I remember particle accelerator and thinking it was good. This one's good as well. But Sean Spaeth here, I mean, he's saying a particle accelerator, one of the best bottles he's purchased in a long time. His opinion.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
And the fact is, I had the tasting yesterday. If you guys afterwards were ordering bottles, and somebody asked if there were any more available of particle accelerator from last month, which I think was 53.451, I want to say, and this one's 458, so a few casks in between there, but
yeah. I think if you missed the last one, this one is great. It still wouldn't disappoint you. Like you'd be pumped.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned Mike B. You said it sounds fishy, but like I think Bonito Flakes has that kind of saltiness, almost umami miso profile. So it's not so like stinky fishy. It just has a different kind of salt for me. Yeah.
That we get so many, there can be so many kind of different weird tasting notes with whiskey that sound disgusting, but taste delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, like smoked octopus or, hospital gown on the emergency room floor, a dirty sock in a dank basement. You hear those from whiskeys and you're thinking, who would drink that?
Yeah.
tasting it is just such a different experience. And you're like, all right, a dirty sock on the gym floor in a dank basement tastes pretty darn good. You
Yeah.
know? So it's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm
And
into it.
yeah, and some people they hear our tasting notes, on some of the bottles from the tasting panel, and they're like, who wants to drink that? But it's like, no, on the palate with a whiskey, it's delicious. A dirty sock can be gorgeous on the palate.
Yeah, yeah. And I found like with my experience, really like the stinkier the cheese, the better it is when you drizzle honey with it, and it just like
Yeah.
so mind blowing. And I would have never known that was a thing.
Oh, yes. And Duke McHale tuning in. I haven't seen you comment. If you have, Duke, he's asking for the list. We do have the list. Hold on just a second. I forgot about that. Good thing you mentioned it. Let me get it pulled up here, and I'll share my screen and show you. Everybody get your screen grabs ready. Hold on just a second. That closed it there. We go here. We're going to go share present. That's what it is. Share screen. I want that share. Boom. Hopefully it's showing. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it, Lynn. Hopefully everybody else can see it that's watching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 whiskeys coming out tomorrow. Get your screen grab in there. 6 of the 12 we looked at, of course, tonight. We did not look at 76.152, the spicy and sweet, 19-year-old from a first fill barrel. We did not look at 55.82, another spicy and dry, the gathering stillness, 15-year-old from a first fill Spanish oak Oloroso hogshead. There's truly a gem. We looked at that one. 23.81. Here's one we don't see too many. Distillery 23. This one is unpeated. Distillery 23, a 15-year from a first fill barrel in the oily and coastal profile. I would love to try that one. I was disappointed we did not get that one included in the Outturn.
Oh, I imagine with Distillery 23 that it's so popular that they wouldn't dare want to give it.
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of taken into effect. Those that they know are going to sell, there's no reason to feature, taste them. So, and I might have to order one of those myself. We'll see.
Yeah.
A little pricey, not too bad overall for what it is. A single cask Distillery 23, and like I say, unpeated on that one from 23. So 112.107, Tales of the Unexpected, 10-year-old Highland from a first fill barrel, sweet fruity mellow. Another Distillery 39.271, another distillery we get a lot of great casks from. 11-year-old first fill barrel, juicy oak and vanilla. And 19.94 of Rose Garden, 19-year-old Highland, first fill barrel, spicy and sweet. Good whiskeys tomorrow. And I'm going to stop sharing. Hopefully everybody got yours. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Hopefully you got your screen grabs in there.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, AB Scott saying that 23 oily and coastal though. Yep. Number of bottles of the 23. Let me look and see. US release 23. We are getting 72 of them in the States. So several. That should last a day. You might be pretty quick on the trigger finger with those, so to say.
Trigger finger. That's awesome.
Don't mess around too long.
Yeah. I wish I had a business where I could have like a strong brand name where it just sell itself,
Yeah. Like no advertising needed. Just boom.
Yeah.
What it
Yeah.
is. Linguini's peated single malt. Boom. Sold out.
Right. That's right. Just have artwork of
If
literally
so,
pop
let's
stuff.
say if you did have your own whiskey, would it be peated? Would it be sherried, or would it just be ex bourbon?
Oh,
What's
that's Scott. That's an impossible question.
No, it's not. I can tell you what mine is.
Oh no, I want to hear yours. 'Cause I
Sherry.
can't.
Oh, it's
Sherry.
sherry all the way.
Okay.
Might be a combination of Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez. But the fact is, no, I'm just going to jump in right there. That's what it would be. It'd be a combination of Oloroso and PX. Boom, done. No controversy. Nothing to think about.
Yes.
Yeah, come on, Lynn, jump in there. What's yours? Do it.
Okay, for unpeated, I agree with you.
No, you got one bottle. What is it?
No, I can't. I'm like a rapper who would love to have many girlfriends. I can't choose one. I'm not a player. I'm a player, Scott.
No offense. All right, I got it. No offense against rappers out there. Okay, the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society doesn't take into account the rapper status of anybody. So
okay, fine. Just a random famous dude, a NFL player.
The Scotch Malt Whiskey Society does not take a stance against any NFL player or any famous dude out there and how many girlfriends they may have. So.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my God.
All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks, Lynn. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great whiskeys. These are all available 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow on Tuesday. So stay tuned. And thanks to everybody that tuned in. And as we say on the back of every Scotch Malt Whiskey Society bottling, this whiskey is not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. Cheers.
Yes. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.